On the docket in New York City, legal troubles against hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs are mounting and fast. On Tuesday, a team of lawyers announced they'll be filing an additional 120 sexual assault lawsuits against him. Some of the alleged victims are minors. Meghann Cuniff is the legal affairs attorney who gained national prominence for her coverage of the trial of rapper Tory Lanez, who was convicted of shooting hip-hop artist Megan Thee Stallion. Thanks so much for being here, Meghann. What do we need to know about this new group of accusers, 120 accusers set to file these lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs?
Yes, they made quite a splash yesterday with the lawsuit that's gotten so much publicity. But the thing is, with Diddy facing criminal charges, and being having that active case against him, the chance of these lawsuits actually getting a day in court or going to trial before his criminal case gets resolved is about slim to none. We might see some motions to dismiss or things like that dealt with, but the lawsuits won't get into any kind of discovery phase or anything like that as long as Diddy has this criminal case pending, which I'm sure is his priority right now, and not any kind of civil cases that have been filed.
And these civil cases, their burden of proof and what they need to present is the threshold's a lot lower. What do these new accusers need to prove in order to win their case once they do get their day in court?
Yeah, while criminal cases are beyond a reasonable doubt, in civil cases, the standard is preponderance of the evidence. So there is a lower standard here. The problem is with the criminal case pending, that of course takes precedent and priority. And with everything Diddy is doing right now in his criminal case, with all the lawyers he has working that case, working his bail appeal, which is currently underway. And then he also has a whole litany of lawsuits currently already existing that he has pretty high-powered, high-paid counsel on already that have been working on the cases before he was charged criminally. His resources are pretty well taken up right now, and I'm sure his priority financially is paying the lawyers in his criminal case. So it's going to be a question of what happens over the next couple of years with his criminal case to his finances, and when the criminal case is finally resolved, where is that going to leave him, and or could he just come up with some quick settlements right now? It's a big question of what kind of situation is he going to be in when he's actually dealing with these lawsuits.
Now let's talk more about these criminal charges against him. We know he is facing racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Much of the evidence against him is reportedly from these so-called freak-offs. They're those sex parties where Combs is alleged to have almost been like a director of sexual performances that he himself electronically recorded. If you're his defense attorney, if you're on his team, how do you defend against this kind of evidence that he himself procured?
Well, it's going to be, I think we're going to see an issue of actually consensual. Was this forced? Where was the coercion? I think we're going to be looking at a lot of issues like that. And I'm sure his attorneys are thinking about that right now, trying to get something together and really go through the evidence. They did comment that they have a lot of, there's going to be a lot of electronic files for them to look through that were seized by the feds and that they need to now go through. So I'm sure they're looking at all that stuff and really trying to come up with some kind of case like that that's based on consent versus coercion.
You know, there were rumblings of Diddy's behavior for a long time, but the spotlight really came on Sean Diddy Combs when his former girlfriend, singer Cassie, spoke out and filed her lawsuit that was quickly settled the very next day. How important is Cassandra Ventura to what we see happening right now with Diddy?
I think she's been really pivotal to this because, like you said, there have been rumblings about this for a long time, but her lawsuit was the first real sign of a public sign that something huge was going on, something very criminal with him. I think a lot of people read the lawsuit and wondered if he was going to be facing criminal charges or possibly a criminal investigation from this. And the criminal case against him right now in New York largely mirrors the lawsuit that Cassie has filed. So I think it's safe to say that she was really crucial in this whole case, and that the attorney who announced the lawsuits yesterday even said that this really opened the floodgates, that a lot of people who didn't feel comfortable coming forward before that have since come forward, and this is leading to what we're seeing today.
You know, Diddy has added 2 heavyweights to his team after being denied bail and bond twice. They're appealing once again. What comes next with that? And how might that change? I think the interesting thing is adding these people. How could they change the outcome? Because 2 times already, the judge has said no.
Yes, and he does have a really experienced appellate attorney who is tackling his Second Circuit bond request. And I think we're going to see perhaps later this week, maybe early next week, there will be an actual opening brief or a brief where she files something laying out her arguments. And it will be interesting to see how their arguments differ from what was presented to the 2 judges who've already seen this. But this will be a little different in that they have an actual panel. It should be 3 circuit judges who consider it. So just the experience that she has, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how she presents it. But that's obviously where his priorities are, not only just work-wise, but financially. He's got to be paying for all those attorneys right now.
Yeah, legal affairs journalist Meghann Cuniff, thanks so much.
Thank you.
One of 2